All right, I know there's a few people who missed what I was talking. I know there's a few people who missed what I was talking about here, so I'm just going to go over it one more time. There's two types basically of densifiers you could use. One is the old sodium silicate, which not many people use anymore. Most are going to a lithium densifier. A densifier is just going to crystallize and harden that surface so that it can then be polished and honed easier, and also makes that surface harder so that it doesn't wear as easy. Okay, it's not going to give you protection against staining. It's not going to make this a non-porous finish. It just hardens it. Okay, if you need, if after the surface has been polished to whatever degree you're taking it up to, if you need to protect against staining and protection to keep the high gloss, you can put our guard over the surface of it. But with this product, you're going to apply it based off the substrate, but approximately 300 square foot per gallon up to about 500 square foot per gallon. It's sprayed onto the surface, not with normally a little hand sprayer. You're normally using a regular pump sprayer, and when it comes to cleanup, it's just soap and water. Okay? So when you're spraying this on the surface, it's important to keep a nice wet film over the entire surface, and it has to stay wet for 20 minutes. Okay? So it's got to stay wet for 20 minutes. If you see some areas that are starting to dry, like I'm starting to see some areas drying here, it's been about 8 minutes. Okay? So I'm just going to spray a little bit over. So make sure your shoes are good and clean, that you're not tracking over the surface. And I'm just going to go through, make sure the pumper is pumped, and I'm just going to spray a little bit on that area to keep it wet. Okay? So now that surface is still wet. Okay? I'm not flooding it, but I just want to keep it wet. Once that surface is consistently wet for 20 minutes, allow it to dry. Once it's allowed to dry, at that point then, you can continue with your polishing process. Okay? Same goes true whether it is the Ardex material or if it's concrete. Okay? And it's also your preference. I know some contractors who are polishing like to start early with the densifier. It also depends on your substrate. If it's on the softer side, you're going to want to get it on there early. And some like to apply it again later in their polishing cycle. Okay? As far as how much you apply, that's up to you. That's your personal preference. But this, again, makes it harder so that's easier to hone to a higher sheen. That's what this does. It will not protect the concrete or the substrate from corrosive chemicals, from staining, from things like that. If you need to protect that, we have a guard that can be applied over the surface. Or if you need real extra chemical resistance and to make it actually a food contact safe surface, one of our resinous coatings can be applied on the top. Okay? And we are going to demo that using our RG70, our Poly 1HD, and our Poly 3WB.